Hello there and welcome to day 3 of 5-Day FitPro. Today we are going to focus on the design phase of your online fitness business. I will explain what visual identity is and what should be included in your identity, how to lay out initial web page wireframes that lead the visitor to a call to action, then how to apply your visual identity to these wireframe layouts to produce a completed web page design. We have a lot to review today, so let's get started right now. Let's begin today's training by discussing visual identity. A brand's visual identity includes every graphic and image that a brand uses to express who they are to their clients and differentiate themselves from the competition. Basically, it's everything that a client will see, from your logo and business cards to your website. But it's not just about looking good. Your visual identity should be purposeful and communicate who you are, what you do, and what you stand for across all of your marketing channels. An effective and well-designed visual identity will create memorable experiences, emotional connections, and shape perceptions. To help you better understand its importance, here are 5 characteristics of a well-designed visual identity. Number 1, it's flexible. When designing your visual identity, don't just think about today. Your designs should be able to grow as your fitness business grows. Think about your brand's vision. Where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? What new training programs or services might you offer in the future? Make sure that your visual identity supports the growth of your fitness business. Number 2, it's targeted. Creating beautiful designs and products won't have any effect on the success of your fitness business if you are not displaying them to the correct audience. That is why it is critical that you design all aspects of your visual identity with your specific clients in mind. You must appeal to them and only them. Number 3, it's purposeful. Remember on day 1 when you defined your brand purpose? Your brand's visual identity must always support this purpose. It's who you are, why you exist, your goals, your values, and why your fitness programs and workouts are useful to the client. These characteristics should all be reflected in everything that you design for your fitness business. Number 4, it's intuitive. Your visual identity needs to be designed in unison so that each component complements the others. If all of your designs use different colors, random typography, and inconsistent imagery, it will not be memorable or engaging to your audience. Number 5, it's emotional. Humans are extremely visual beings. What we see can be very powerful and invoke strong emotions. So your visual identity should represent your personality and your values. It needs to produce an emotional response, whatever that happens to be for your specific fitness business. Okay, so now that I have provided you with some tips on what makes a well-designed visual identity, let's take a look at what it includes. Number 1, your logo. The obvious first element is your logo. A logo is a visual representation of your brand's identity and should support your purpose, vision, mission, and your values. A proper logo design is made up of 3 unique parts: the symbol or the brand mark, the word mark, and the brand tagline. These 3 components collectively make up a brand's signature. Number 2, your color palette. The next component of your visual identity are the colors that you use. These are the hexadecimal and the PMS colors that you will use across everything that you design. These colors must be defined and used consistently without exception. For up to 90% of consumers, brand color plays a key role in their buying decisions. Remember, we are trying to build brand recognition here. The color plays a huge part in making a brand memorable to the client. A brand's color typically consists of 1 to 2 main colors, 2 primary colors, 3 to 5 complementary colors, and 2 accent colors. Number 3, your typography. Once you have designed your logo and created your color palette, the next logical step is to define your typography. This is basically the fonts you will use in everything that you design. The font style you choose should be influenced by your logo style and support your brand's personality. Typically, you will need to define 2 to 3 different typefaces in various sizes and weights. Number 4, your brand graphics. The next of the visual identity elements you will need to define will be your graphics. This includes icons, illustrations, infographics, photography, and motion graphics. Number 5, your look and feel. Finally, an important part of your visual identity is how all of these components work together. This is considered your brand's style or the look and feel. All of the elements should work well together to form a cohesive and powerful visual experience. Okay, so now that you know what you will need to design and include in your brand's visual identity, let's take a look at your most valuable client touchpoint, your website. After all, your website will be the single most influential and informative place for you to promote your training programs, provide information about the services that you offer, allow potential clients to purchase your programs, and then access them once they have enrolled. The first step in a successful website design is to have a well-organized plan and layout in place before beginning the design and the development phase. In order to do this, I recommend creating wireframe layouts of all of your website pages. To create web page designs and wireframes, I use a program called Sketch. Sketch is a simple to use and affordable yet powerful program to design web pages and other creative layouts. These wireframes are simple layouts that visually show the approximate locations of all of your graphics, photos, videos, headings, and text on each of the pages. Completing this initial step in the design process will allow you to quickly make any adjustments to the content placement and make the final design and development process much more efficient. The layout of your website pages should create a story that leads the visitor through a journey to a call to action. You want to describe your workout and training programs, what are the benefits, what results your clients can expect, who the programs are for, why they are effective, and what's included in the program. Be sure to address any objections the visitor may have, and then finally provide a clear and easy way for them to take action. This call to action can be a lead capture form, a free download, or a buy now button. Try to get as much important content, including a call to action button, above the fold. This is the area at the top of the page that is visible when the page loads before the user begins to scroll down the page. Also, be sure that your page layouts work well on mobile devices. Current statistics indicate that up to 65% of your website visitors will be using a mobile device to view your website. Therefore, you want to be sure that your website is accessible, easy to navigate, and offers an enjoyable user experience. As I've mentioned before, you want to add a call to action above the fold and then strategically place additional calls to action throughout the page so there's always one visible while the visitor is scrolling through the page content. And then on these wireframes, make sure you keep these wireframes really simple. They should be basic black and white layouts of just content placement. Don't get bogged down with design elements like colors at this point. We will tackle page design later once the structure has been completed. Okay, so once you have your web page wireframes complete, let's begin to apply your visual identity and page content to the wireframe layouts to create completed web page designs. The first step is to apply your brand logo to the design. Depending on your website layout, this may be in the upper left of your page next to the navigation menu, or perhaps centered at the top of the page if you are designing a landing page that is absent of all navigation. Be sure your logo is large enough that all elements are visible and recognizable and also legible. Next, you want to apply your brand's color palette to the elements of your wireframe. You should have already defined one primary color, 2 to 3 accent colors, and 3 to 5 supporting colors in your visual identity. Your primary and accent colors should be used to highlight the most important elements on the page, like buttons and calls to action. Your supporting colors should then be used for backgrounds, borders, text blocks, content separators, headings, subtitles, and button hover states. Remember to take advantage of white space or negative space on the page. You don't necessarily have to apply color everywhere. Less is more and will help draw the visitor's attention to the most important content. Once you have applied all of your brand colors, it's time to assign your brand's typography to the text elements on the page. You should have defined 2 to 3 brand typefaces in your visual identity. Begin by applying your most impactful fonts to your page headings. Next, work your way down the page and apply your subheading fonts, and then finally your basic paragraph fonts to your text blocks, lists, or bullet points. Remember to take advantage of the different font weights that may be available for each of these typefaces. This will help create focus, draw attention, as well as express your brand's personality. The final step is to apply all of your graphics, icons, photos, and imagery to your webpage. The content placement and dimensions for all of these elements should have already been defined within placeholders within your wireframes. So all you need to do now is swap out each of the placeholders with the actual photo, icon, or the graphic. If you have added any video placeholders to your wireframes, just keep those as placeholders for now. You will add any video or motion graphics later in the development stage. Once your page has been fully designed, review everything that you have done and make any necessary changes. You may find that call to action buttons are too close to each other, or perhaps some of the color placements are not as visually appealing as they could be. Pay close attention to your font sizes and verify that all text elements are legible. Take a broad overview of the entire page and ask yourself the following questions. Does the page feel cohesive? Are your eyes drawn to the most important content on the page? Does the page reflect your brand's personality? Is the page visually appealing? Does the page tell a story and lead the visitor through a journey? Is there a clear, obvious, and easily accessible call to action? Is the page great design? And do you love this page? Once you have successfully answered all these questions with a yes, you are ready to move on to the build phase of the online fitness business. In my full course, FitPro Master Course, I show you how to properly lay out website wireframes and convert them to full page designs using the Sketch design program. I will add a link to those step-by-step video tutorials below, so be sure to check those out. In tomorrow's training, you will learn how to turn your web page designs into fully functional websites using a simple to use drag and drop WordPress page builder. I will also show you how to load your workouts, videos, and training programs into a secure platform so they are only accessible to your paying clients. But before you go, be sure to download and complete the action guide below to get the most out of this training and get ready for day 4 of 5-Day FitPro coming up next. I'll see you there.